Hello, my name is Kurt, and today I am drinking plant blood. Ooh, kale, spinach and romaine, cucumber, celery, and lemon. Squeeze my lemon, baby, till the juice runs down my leg. Anyway, yes, plant blood, or as some people like to call it, juice. A mixture of living things shoved into a blender and having their vital fluids extracted and then bottled for us to enjoy and drink. And we call it juice. But blood is blood, my friends. So rejoice. There's my quirky kind of intro. And I just wanted to talk about some pretty interesting things and maybe ask my viewers some questions about various things too, because it's been on my mind for a while. I know I'm a kind of strange person, and I've been to doctors and psychologists and had brain scans done and everything because it's just kind of been bothering me for a while. And the doctors did blood work, and they found like unusual things, but nothing dangerous, like elevated levels of certain kind of blood thingies, and it's kind of weird. They said it's strange, but it's nothing to be kind of, it's not unhealthy or nothing to be concerned about. So I'm like, okay, so you tell me it's strange, but why is it strange? You know what I mean? Like if it's strange, that means that most normal people don't have that kind of thing. So shouldn't you be concerned as a doctor? But I don't know. Doctors are just weird, but I thought I would get a opinion from a professional. And then I went to psychologists, and then they just said, I kind of told them like certain things and how I was feeling and all these things, and they're just like, oh, you just have like you're stuck in a rut. It's not necessarily clinical depression. You do not have any type of mental illness. Nothing. I went through fucking all these evaluations, and they just say you're kind of just stuck in a rut. Like it happens to people, and they just gave me like Xanax and a weird ass like kind of prescription medication that doesn't really even work. That's the thing with me, like these substances, like they say you're stuck in a rut, and but like if you're like oh like you really have depression, or if you're like a person with a real mental illness, and maybe if you take Xanax it might kind of help you, but with me it's like even if I took all these substances there was still kind of this kind of like lingering type of thing, that's energetic type of thing. Excuse me. Anyway, see, but everything is normal, but I don't feel normal, you know. How can I express? And then I don't see any people on YouTube talking about this stuff either. There's a lot of New Agers and spiritual people and modern age hippies, and they all do yoga and tantra and whatever, and they look all happy and peppy and all this stuff, but I don't feel it from them. It's weird. It's like it's in kind of an energetic thing. Like I feel that they're kind of fooling themselves, the whole love and light rainbow kind of mentality and all that stuff kind of brainwashes them, and they become kind of just happy, but not really. Like they are being taken advantage of in numerous different ways, because there's people that really know about chakras and that really know about like certain different techniques, and they amass all these followers of all these New Agers and all these people that they say, oh, my chakras are radiating so potently today and whatever, but they don't know what kind of chakras are, because when I feel their chakras, they're kind of not radiating like potently or anything, and it's like I could kind of make certain like energetic shifts and kind of make them anyway, whatever. Maybe this gets into Reiki and stuff, but I mean, I've been to Reiki kind of practitioners, and I don't feel any type of energetic transfer either. Like 95% of Reiki practitioners and all these spiritual healers are just fake. Like, it's weird. But yeah, like, how should I describe it? Let me just say it how it is. I could go into a bar, and I could sit there, and there's drunk people around me, and I don't drink. I don't have to drink, and I feel drunk. And a lot of people can say, oh, this is, you're mentally fooling yourself, it's this placebo effect. How can I fool my physical body into staggering and feeling hammered and not being able to drive? That's how fucking kind of like drunk I feel. Like really, like seriously, it's like 10 beers. There's no difference. It's kind of weird. And it's the same thing when like when I go to clubs or like any type of lusty type of place. Like I don't frequent those places like very often, but I mean, like I just like decided to do it like a while ago just to get a general feel of these things, and it's like you could feel sort of like lusty type of vibes and weird stuff. Like, you know, I could, it's the same thing with any place, you know, I could walk into church and it's just this feeling, it's strange. And it's not, see, it's not good and it's not bad. It's not a good feeling, it's not a bad feeling, it just kind of is, you know. And you know, I would try to hang out with like sort of spiritual kind of people, and we would walk, and then I'm like, do you feel the wind? Like, do you feel the moon's energy? Like during a full moon, you know, just walking. I'm like, do you feel the moon? Like, do you feel the wind? Do you feel the earth? Like, do you feel these things? Oh, like, oh yeah, it's such a great evening. Blah blah blah. I'm like, no, 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 no. No, it's not that it's a great evening. Like, do you feel it? Like, do you freaking feel it? And they're like, I don't really know what you're talking about. I tried explaining all these things to them, but it never works. I'm like, how can I describe to somebody how the moon feels? And how can I describe to somebody how the wind kind of feels? Like, a lot of people just say, oh yeah, the wind feels nice, but that's from a chemical kind of physical reaction of the wind kind of hitting your skin. But it's not, Little Wing, shut up. Whatever. Um, it's not physical for me. It's not like when I feel the wind, it's like I feel it like in my inner core, you know? And it's just a strange feeling that I get, and it kind of, it's beautiful, it's blissful. Like the energies of the world are so incredible, but I mean, you know, it's also a thing like, it's funny because like there's a lot of new agers that get into auras and chakras and stuff, and then it's like kind of weird because they kind of force themselves into seeing chakras, but it's not really chakras. It's just kind of like visual kind of disturbances. And then I'm like, okay, so what color is my chakra? Not my chakra. What color is my aura? And then they kind of like start glancing at me and start trying super hard, and then they just kind of pull out a random color and they say, oh yeah, it's this color, and I know what my own aura is, and because I see my own aura and I see other people's auras, so it's like, yeah, I kind of know the right answer, but I like to test people. So I'm like, yeah, what color is my aura? And they say this, and it's completely wrong, but I just kind of let them go on. I just let them carry on. I'm like, yes, my aura is this color, you're so great, and all this stuff. And now I'm like, yes, now I know that they can't really kind of see auras for what they really are. And it's weird because when you get into that kind of visual thing, and it becomes sort of more, it's more empathetic to me than actually visual. Like, like I said, I could walk into a room and I know who's high, you know? And I don't even have to see their eyes, I don't have to see their mannerisms, I could be blindfolded. I could walk into a room and then I could point in the direction of where the high people are. Weird, huh? Try explaining this to anybody. Um, but it's a beautiful thing when you kind of just acknowledge that, hey, maybe other people aren't experiencing this, but you're experiencing this, so maybe you kind of have to lead people in the right direction or whatever. And see, because a lot of these people, spiritual people, they focus too much on gods and deities and rituals and banishings and all this stuff, and it's so completely unnecessary because it all focuses on an energetic level. Um, how should I describe it? Like, you don't have to do banishing rituals if you're kind of constantly empowered, you know what I mean? And you don't have to be all paranoid. You don't have to pray to a god or goddess because you already are kind of, you already have that power within you. By acknowledging higher deities, you're just acknowledging your kind of self. It's just kind of a fragment of yourself, you know what I mean? And a lot of people just kind of look for external, like, sort of sources instead of looking within themselves. But this is what we are. I think we are just kind of symbiotic creatures, you know, how we have to eat food and all this stuff, and I think that's just how it is. And when you become a more spiritual person and you kind of awaken, you know, like, to your true potential, and you start experiencing precognitive dreams and dream travel, and I don't know, you start experiencing all these weird things, you become kind of isolated. But there's no need to be isolated, because you are kind of like, the reason why I feel that people, like, kind of stare at me in a weird way, like they have this kind of like they feel maybe something from me, but they are still kind of like, I don't like saying mundanes, but they are just regular people. So maybe they, like, it doesn't matter if I have short hair or a hoodie or whatever the hell I wear. It's just always something kind of emanating, and it's so weird. It was always like that. I'm not super attractive by any means, or, like, I don't dress like super, like, fancy or anything. I just wear normal clothes like a normal human being and just try to be as unintrusive as possible. But somehow people notice me anyway. Like, I could walk through a mall with a hoodie on, and, like, people are staring at me, like, and it's just kind of me, because there's people around me, but they're, like, kind of, and yeah, you could say, oh yeah, there's a dude in the middle of a mall with a hoodie. Okay, it doesn't matter what I wear. I can just feel it as I walk. I can feel people kind of staring at me, and it's the same thing like in New York. If you meditate with your eyes closed in the middle of the sidewalk, like, you could kind of feel that there's people staring at you. And then I just kind of, like, open my eyes really quick, and then scare the shit out of them, because they think I'm, like, in some kind of super deep meditative state, but in reality I'm just kind of like, feeling things, and I'm like, I know they're staring at me from that direction, so I'm gonna turn my head there, open my eyes, and, like, align with their eyes at the same time, so they boom, and then it's like they get kind of set back and shocked or whatever. It's pretty funny. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Do you guys experience anything like this? You know, like it doesn't make a person special or anything. On the contrary, it's kind of just like a weird type of thing that, like, I speak to a lot of spiritual kind of new agers or whatever, but they don't feel things that I feel, and they don't have the same kind of things that I have, you know, and it's like, they're maybe interested in clairvoyance and all this stuff, but they are not really aware that clairvoyance is actually a really easy ability, and clairaudience too. And, like, if you're with somebody, I don't know if it's weird, but if you, like, on the influence of kind of LSD, I've been talking to, I talk to so many people in life, but, like, heavy drug users, like hippies from the 70s, I'm like, how was LSD, and, like, compared to, you know, modern day LSD and whatever, and it's like, this one guy told me, like, he had some sort of telepathic communication with another chick, like, they were both freaking tripping out on acid, and then he would think something, and then, like, she would say it, and it was just so fucking, it was just so weird. Like, how the way he described that to me, and I'm like, I don't kind of need acid, because that shit kind of happens to me all the time. Like I said in my previous videos, like, I could be just with somebody, and then I'll just know what they're gonna say, and I kind of sometimes say it in advance, you know, to kind of creep them out. And they're like, wow, that was what I was gonna say, and I'm like, oh, that's weird, haha, and I kind of just play it off. But yeah, anyway, not trying to seem all anything, but I mean, how is it? You know, like, be honest. Like, do you feel chakras? Do you see auras? Do you, like, feel like the moon? Like, do you feel? It's a very feely type of thing. Like, do you feel those things, or do you just are you just like a regular kind of human being that you just, like, walk out and it's like, oh yeah, it's a nice evening, whatever, I'm gonna get a nice dinner. But to me, it's like, when I walk out, I could smell the life in the air, and, like, like, feel, like, alive, and, like, vision, like, crispness, and it's really, really strange. So I apologize if I kind of made this, like, fucking weird thing, but I believe in honesty. You know, I believe in expressing. See, there's a lot of people, like, they watch my videos and they're like, oh, what's his problem? What's his deal? Blah, blah, blah. Like, why is he sort of in this depression? Why is he sort of in this type of rut? Um, this is kind of like why it's been like this. This is why I've always been a loner, because I kind of feel things that other people don't feel. Like, you know, like, whereas other men, like, they kind of just want to fuck chicks and just party and take drugs and all this stuff, and I'm like, it's not about the physicality. It's like, for a lack of a better word, it's kind of the flavor of the feeling I get from a person. Like I could taste their inner being in a weird way. And there's just some people that I really resonate with and kind of want to whatever. And then there's all these superficial people that are just kind of mundane people with the whole new age type of hippy dippy disguise, and like they're easy kind of people to fool, so to speak, because I could be like, oh yeah, you know, whatever, and then it's like, the problem is when you expose these type of people to anything real, they get fucking freaked out. They're like, I'm like, okay, so let's meditate. You know, you do meditation, you do yoga, all this stuff. All right, let's go to the forest and meditate, right? And then we just meditate, and then like I kind of show them how to meditate in a maybe a kind of different way, and then they start experiencing things that they kind of never experienced before, and they get freaked the fuck out, and I don't know, maybe a lot of people think I'm evil or something, but I'm not doing anything harmful. I'm just trying to teach people how to like I think people are subconsciously like afraid of all this stuff. Like they want to feel energies and they want to feel chakras and they want to see auras. But when it finally starts kind of happening to them, they get afraid. They're like, "Oh shit, I could see people's illnesses. You know, I could feel certain things from people." Like they realize that it's not a pleasant type of thing. They realize like when before like you get into the aura thing, like you're just like I've always seen them. You see, that's a problem. Like I always seen them as a kid. I would look at the trees and I would see like this fucking ring around it, and I'm like, okay, that one is blue, that one's like this, and like each tree kind of had a different kind of radiation, like not radiation but energetic frequency, and I would find my favorite tree and all that stuff. But anyway, that's another point entirely. But how should I describe it? Yeah, they get into this whole thing like, oh, I could see people's auras and it's gonna be cool and all this stuff, but then it's like you don't just see kind of, oh, that person's aura is like blue or whatever, so they are a very good conversationalist or whatever, blah 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 blah. No, it's like you, mm, and this gets into astrological things too. It's like it's the same thing with star signs. It's like people say, oh yeah, you know, Sagittarius is this way, Pisces is this way, blah 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 blah. No, but like there's a reason why it's that way. It's not just because Sagittarius is Sagittarius, because that way, if it was sort of a general thing, if it wasn't an energetic thing, anybody could fake being a Sagittarius, you know? But you can't. Like, I can't fake being a fucking Virgo. I can't fake being a Pisces. I can't fake being any of these things. Like, I find it very admirable, these other kind of energies, but I can't be that myself. I am always kind of myself, and that's just what it is, you know? And it's just weird. It's an energetic thing, and I feel it on a star sign type of thing, too. It's like, I can feel like a person's kind of energetic vibration beforehand, and I kind of am slightly aware of what kind of sign they could be. And then when they finally tell me, most of the time I'm right, and then I'm like, okay, I know that this person is a Leo, so I kind of have to, you know, just, eh, like, I don't know, I don't resonate with a lot of energy, so to speak. Like to me, the most resonant energy is just, right. I don't know how to describe it. Anyway, enough rambling. I apologize. I just sharing experiences, questions. Do you guys feel like, and I know, like, the thing is, like, I ask these questions, but I already know the answers to them. You know what I mean? So I know who is who, you know, so I don't know. Just sharing. Thank you. Have a nice day.